What's up, everybody, and welcome to Cine James Movie Talk. I am your host, Mr. Cine James himself, and today I am going to be doing my non-spoiler review on the new Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. But before we do that, you know what to do. If you like the show, you like the content, you're listening to me on YouTube, hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you're listening to me on Spotify, tap that bell, tap that follow, show me some love, and as always, I greatly appreciate all of your support. So before we get into my non-spoiler review, let's run through a little bit of the info on this movie. So this movie just officially released today, May 22nd, is directed by Jon Favreau and co-written by Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Noah Clore, and is also produced alongside Kathleen Kennedy. This movie had a budget of $166 million, and its box office number, since it just officially released today, I do not have that info, but when we get to do the spoiler review for Mandalorian and Grogu, I will have those box office numbers. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into my non-spoiler review for Mandalorian and Grogu. So I just got out of seeing this movie a couple hours ago. So I wanted to do this non-spoiler review while everything was still just readily fresh in my mind. So this movie is a follow-up to the Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian, which that series was groundbreaking in that it was the first live-action Star Wars series, and it debuted on Disney Plus as part of Disney Plus's debut in November of 2019, and it came out a month before we got Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, in theaters. So this is the first Star Wars movie since The Rise of Skywalker, so it's been roughly about 7 years. Having said that, and I am saying this as a diehard Star Wars fan, I did not need to go see this in theaters, and I could have waited for this to hit Disney Plus, and I could have seen this movie once and not seen it again. I did not have a good time with this movie. I didn't have a terrible time with this movie, but I did not have a good time. It was very boring. I had no interest in this. It had two good action sequences, but aside from that, the pacing in this was just slow. Again, I just was bored with this movie, and that's hard for me to say as a Star Wars fan. Having said that, I do another show where I co-host alongside the Big Rob Theory, and a quick shout out to the Big Rob Theory and the Nerd Syndicate. But the Big Rob Theory and myself, we do a new show getting ready to release called Super Cinema Brothers, and we have been talking about the Star Wars movies. And one of the topics that we brought up was, I asked the question: is this the Star Wars movie we need? And my response to that on that episode, which those episodes will be releasing very, very soon, so you're not going to want to miss those. Again, that's called Super Cinema Brothers. My response was no, we did not need this movie. And I stand by that. Response. We did not need this movie. This should have been a 2 or 3 part series in a season 4 of The Mandalorian. It was just, I was taken out of this movie almost from the start. The opening text, though, give us the layout of what's going on in the Star Wars universe at this time. It gives us it gives us a quick rundown. And with what it tells us, I wish we would have gotten an expansion of that in this movie, instead of we just focus on one story beat, and it is very boring and it goes nowhere. I had no interest in this at all. Whereas with the couple of the good action sequences we got, the one thing that I've said about The Mandalorian, and I said this back when it debuted, is that it feels like a Wild West in Star Wars, because it dealt with obviously Mandalorian, dealt with other bounty hunters, and I liked that setting. I liked how that came across. And this movie would have served if it felt more like a Wild West. Especially with a couple of, again, we got 2 good action sequences in this that, had it been served with a better story, would have been awesome. And it goes also to what my thoughts were as I was watching this movie, is that we didn't need a movie focused on the Mandalorian and Grogu. We've gotten 3 seasons of that. Had we gotten a different movie where they would have been, I guess if you want to say, side characters, then that probably would have been okay. But I did not need a full movie with them in it, and this movie proves that. The music in this movie took me out completely. I did not think the music in this was good at all. It's actually, in my opinion, it's some of the worst music I've heard in a Star Wars movie. Aside from, we get the classic Mandalorian theme from the series. That part, that's good. But this music, in my opinion, is some of the worst music given to us in a Star Wars movie. I think that had it been given some different story beats, or had some of this been introduced in a different Star Wars movie where they're brought in as maybe some side characters, that may have been better. What this movie will do, though, for the young kids is it will have that cuteness factor with Grogu, Baby Yoda. You do get a lot of him in this movie, so I'm sure the little kids, they're going to like that. But overall, this movie just felt very flat to me. The pacing was really, really slow. Like I said, this is one of the first movies that I've sat down in a while where I just felt bored. I just, once we had the opening sequence, which the opening sequence was really cool. I liked the opening sequence, but after that, it just to me, it just goes downhill from there. And I lost all interest after that opening sequence. And it was one of those movies where and again, I never thought I'd say this for a Star Wars movie, where I was ready for it to be done. After that opening sequence, and we just start to go downhill from there. There's one other sequence in the movie that was good, but aside from that, I was eager for this movie to be done. So that is my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on my non-spoiler thoughts on The Mandalorian and Grogu. So that is going to do it for this episode. Just to give you guys a quick recap of what is ahead. Next week, I am going to be releasing my spoiler review for Michael. I'm also going to be releasing my spoiler review for Mortal Kombat 2. And then coming up, we still have that Terminator 2 Judgment Day episode that I am really excited for that. And then also coming up, I will be having my non-spoiler review for the new Masters of the Universe. But that is going to do it for my non-spoiler review for The Mandalorian and Grogu. So once again, if you like the show, you like the content, you're listening to me on YouTube, hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you're listening to me on Spotify, tap that bell, tap that follow, show me some love. And as always, I greatly appreciate all of your support. You can also find me on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Cine James Movie Talk. Once again, guys, thank you so much. That's going to do it for this episode. And as always, I will see you at the box office.